Huge news over the weekend. It's been a long time coming. One of the strangest and probably most disrespectful things we've ever seen in the league. The Canucks, they let Bruce Boudreau twist in the wind. They finally let him go. They hired Rick Tocchet, named him the coach on Sunday. He's the 21st head coach in franchise history.
Almost exactly a year ago, the Vancouver Canucks were a complete disaster. After a first half of the season that saw players turn on each other, superstars completely dejected, and a total mismanagement of a beloved coach, the Canucks were a circus that was to be inherited by coach Rick Tocchet. Fast forward exactly 1 year later, and that same team finds themselves on top of the NHL. I never saw this coming, but a lot has changed both on and off the ice to make this team a potential Stanley Cup contender. As this video is being made, the Vancouver Canucks are on top of the NHL, and depending on where you live in Canada, there's an argument that they are the team to beat coming out of the West. Whatever your opinion is on that, the truth remains that this Canuck team has become a juggernaut. The Canucks have been one of, if not the biggest surprise of the 2024 NHL season. What was initially thought to just be a hot start has fully turned into a threat that is here to stay. So how did they go from a full-on circus disaster to potential Stanley Cup contender in 1 year? Well, Rick Tocchet has invigorated this team, but tactically, he's got them playing a system that benefits their personnel. Let's start with what they do better than anyone else in the league, and that's create offense. The Canucks are the best offensive team in the NHL, as they rank first in goals for, and it's because of two reasons. One, how they facilitate off the rush, and two, how they maintain zone pressure. The Canucks are a team that always want to keep you on their heels in all three zones. They want to turn defense into offense quickly, and having a weapon like Quinn Hughes makes it really easy. Teams have trouble pressuring the Canucks on the forecheck or stuffing them in the neutral zone because they simply can't keep up with Hughes and how the Canucks like to spread out. When you have a player like Hughes who can single-handedly break out the puck with his legs or vision, it opens up all kinds of options for the Canucks to attack on the rush. Take this play here against the Oilers. As the Canucks look to counter, Hughes doesn't like what he sees, so he curls back. Instead of forcing a play, he gives his teammates a chance to spread out and head north. The Oilers scramble to get into their 1-2-2 structure, and Hughes sends a bullet up the middle to Besser, and with one pass, the Canucks have an odd man rush in their favor. When Hughes has possession, the Canucks have the green light from Tocchet to spread out and be ready for a potential stretch pass or a long flip. At the same time, this Canucks team understands when to stay close and provide support on the defensive side of the puck for them to begin on offense. Watch here as Edmonton looks to enter the zone, but look at the level of support Vancouver has with all five guys snuffing out the rush. Quinn Hughes steps up to take his man, a loose puck seemingly finds its way to Edmonton, but because Miller is there for support, a perfect stick lift gives Hughes a lane, and then just fantastic awareness for Hughes to feel the pressure and give it back to Miller to start the rush the other way. Now, enter their rush game. Looking at the numbers, they are on a lucky run in terms of shooting percentage. According to Mike Kelly on Twitter, the Canucks are first in the league, shooting a ridiculous 22% off the rush. The second best team in the league comes around 13%. They may be getting a lot of puck luck, but their process is what's allowing them to produce at such a high clip. Aside from Quinn Hughes doing Quinn Hughes things to spring a rush, the entire Canucks roster is manufacturing turnovers in all three zones to create a rush chance. Here in the defensive zone, Nashville threatens with a rush chance of their own, but Juleson takes a fantastic angle off here, and he's able to close the gap rather quickly. Vancouver once again has the proper support on the back pressure. As soon as they get possession, Mikheyev and Pettersson head north, and a composed play by Suter instantly creates a rush chance for Vancouver, where the skill of Elias Pettersson can be used effectively. Then again in the neutral zone, Vancouver continues to hound the puck carrier with back pressure and force a turnover. Garland attacks the middle and will kick this back out wide to drive the net, and even though the Canucks are outnumbered on this rush, a perfect passing play leads to a goal. Now, is that type of play going to go in every time? No. The shooting percentage will likely regress, but what Tocchet and the Canucks like to see is the process of back-checking, creating turnovers, and then taking that puck and attacking instantly off the rush. It's these tiny little details on the defensive side of the puck that end up rewarding Vancouver for their work. When you play the game right, good things happen. Now, where the Canucks truly drive teams nuts is in the offensive zone. Since Tocchet has taken over, all four lines have shown a deep commitment to being absolutely relentless on their forecheck. The Canucks go aggressive with a 2-1-2 setup, And when I watch the footage, they remind me a lot of the Colorado team that won the Stanley Cup a few years ago. A strong forechecking team that relies on their speed to create chaos. They also ran a similar 2-1-2 as well. Like Colorado, the Canucks finished their checks too, but it's the speed of the F1 and F2 that forces defenders to make a panic decision. Rick Tocchet has been very outspoken about wanting all of his players to forecheck with this type of intensity. When the first two forwards can steal a puck or win a battle, they instantly have a dangerous option in the middle of the ice that can strike. Of course, the F3 or high guy has to be responsible and make the proper reads as to when to dive in, as when you run a 2-1-2, an ill-advised pass or a tip puck can lead to an odd man rush against. But when the Canucks get possession in the offensive zone, they can absolutely torch teams with their movement. The meta in the NHL right now seems to be a 2-3 offensive zone pressure with 2 forwards low and 3 skaters high, and a constant movement to create separation. However, when you throw a Quinn Hughes in the mix, you become borderline unstoppable. Hughes has the innate ability to walk the line and manipulate wingers at his will. However, the Canucks offensive system further empowers a player like Hughes and gives him even more space. When they have the puck near the blue line, they're essentially running a scissor play with the puck carrier having options to either keep or drop the puck. Here, Hughes gets the puck at the blue line and tries to make a move but decides to peel back. Watch Hronek and Kuzmenko come in on the scissor route, and Kuzmenko goes in front of the attacker to provide a tiny pick, while Hronek goes behind him for support. Here, Hughes has options to attack the given space or drop it. This play he decides to drop it, and it creates a solid scoring chance. This type of movement up high puts teams in a defensive blender. Against Montreal, it's the same thing. One player swings in front while Hronek swings behind. And because of that, this Montreal winger has to stop up in case of a drop pass. That's exactly what Hughes wants, and he steps right in. But this isn't only exclusive to a player like Hughes. Hronek here has possession, and this time only one player will crisscross up high. Just the option forces the winger to actually ease off of Hronek in anticipation of a drop pass. That buys him a tiny bit of space to get the puck over to Hughes, and the end result is a goal for. The Canucks run this scissor route down low as well. Here, Tampa is playing man, but they will switch to a zone when the puck goes low. So watch Hughes crisscross with Kuzmenko, and he opts to hold on to the puck instead of dropping it. The threat of Quinn Hughes causes Tampa to collapse, and look at all that space that is left up high for all 3 Vancouver players. Hughes circles the wagon and finds Brock Besser in the most dangerous area of the ice. It's this level of creativity and motion in the offensive zone that is a big reason why this team is first in NHL scoring. To give you an idea of how much the Canucks have teams on their heels with their offense, in their last 9 games, the Canucks have trailed for only 53 seconds. Their ability to create offense is a powerful defensive tool, but it also really helps when you have Thatcher Demko in net. 13-1-1 in his last 15 starts, and he's the fastest goalie in franchise history to reach 25 wins while recording 5 shutouts in the process. If the Canucks have a breakdown, he's right there to save them. This team, in 1 year's time since Rick Tocchet took over, has completely 180'd. After being perceived as one of the biggest jokes in the league from top down, Rick Tocchet and the Canucks are completely unrecognizable from the team that they were a year ago. For a team that was filled with supposed locker room cancers and frustrated superstars, they have come together and created one of the deadliest teams in the league. The expectation was to just be competitive, but if they maintain this level of play, they will be serious contenders come April.